talking about Coach Beamer.
Yeah.
My freshman year, man, I think it was just great. And it just really showed the type of coaches that he was, even at that age, of just how well he scouted. Because him being special teams coordinator, every week we had a wrinkle. It's a different wrinkle. Right. We could figure out where the weakness was. This is what we're doing this week. This is what we would execute. Right. But even the evaluation standpoint with him being involved as the special teams coordinator, everybody got to look, man. Yeah. If you were a DB, wide receiver, linebacker, safety, fullback, running back, you put your hand on the line, and it was seeing how fast you could get off the football to get to the punt, And so to me, that gives people opportunities. Yes, you're going to try to put your best players out there the whole time, but when it comes down to late in the season, injuries, banged up people, you got to have the next guy that can step up and do it. But you're having the opportunity to play. There's 3 phases to the game, and special teams is just as important too, man. Yeah. And honestly, man, and it's just, I think just the seeing each other compete, seeing how competitive it is, it just brings the best out of everybody. Yeah. And again, the thing, I think it was A&M. I guess, A&M this past year, we got smoked.
48-3.
Smoked. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it's nothing against anybody that's playing there. But I think I'm almost positive on our first possession, we got stopped. We kicked a punt. We downed it inside the 10-yard line. That is something to get excited about.
Right. Yeah.
Our guys go pick up the ball.
Right.
And they hand it to them.
Right.
You don't see anybody congratulating one another. You don't see them hitting heads. You don't see them patting each other on the butt, back, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It's an emotional game.
Right.
That you have to play within yourself. But guess what, man? It's you, me against them.
Right.
You want to win or not. Yeah. And so and that's and I just, again, it's just so much I think can be just even seen with body language. I mean, just from a play, from people looking to the sideline and getting a K, putting their hand on the ground. Rather than sitting there communicating, talking, getting on each other's butts. I mean, we're all there to compete and win, man. And a lot of it is too. I think you got to leave your feelings at the door.
Yeah,
ain't personal. It's business, man.
Yeah, for sure. Now, of course, you mentioned Shane Beamer. Let's get into that. Obviously, as a player, your last year, 2007, Shane gets hired, and it's crazy because my good buddy Mike Gillespie with ABC Columbia, he posted the clip, and we reposted on social media about when they had the press conference and here in Spurrier talk about Beamer and well, he's a great elite recruiter. We can get it, whatever. He brought in to do a job. And of course you got to know Shane Beamer as a player. And then 08 and 09, you were GA?
08, 09 and 10. And I believe 10 was his, I think 10 was his final year. That was his final year, the SEC championship. But and to me, I think just even groundwork, even during that recruiting aspect, because that was the other thing that he was responsible for.
Recruited some of the greatest Gamecocks to ever wear the garnet black.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. I mean, even when it comes to the aspect of that is, different coaches have different regions, the recruiting aspect of that, but just, being able to coordinate all that and knowing what kids we're going after, who's, and obviously with Coach Spurrier, his name, that obviously brought ambience and stuff too, but just the evaluation standpoint of things, I think speaks volumes. But again, I think even playing with, Coach Beamer, with him being the special teams coach, I mean, I tell people, I mean, for me, I think it was absolutely probably one of the other highlights of my playing career was our kickoff return team my senior year. I mean, I love playing on that kickoff return team. Right. Now, I can tell you also too, my freshman year when I was playing special teams, it was also probably one of the hardest teams I played on, just because when you're sitting there and you're counting across, you're like, okay, I got R5 or R4 was my guy. And I'm like, and my first live action special teams was at LSU. And I'm sitting there going 1, 2, 3. Oh no, that can't be him. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. And it's just this, jacked up 260-pound, linebacker. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is going to be an impact to where like all of a sudden when Coach Beamer came, like the back wall was myself, DeMarco, Melvin Ingram, kick returner was Chris Culliver. Pretty skilled dudes, but every week, like we were always the kick out wall. So it was always us having against like either R1s, R2s, L1s, L2s. Those are like DDs, 185-pound dudes, and like literally just licking chops because I love contact. And it was just like, let me get hands on that. But I mean, even that year, I mean, I'd have to go back and look, but I mean, we were one of the top 1 or 2 kickoff return teams in the conference. I mean, we had field position was always great, always fashion and exciting and stuff like that. But to me, I think it's just seeing from that, obviously his coaching career, seeing what other programs he's being a part of. And as we talked beforehand, I had 5 different coaches in 6 years that I played tight end. You take things with you and see how it fits into your style and what you can see it being successful. And I think that's what's exciting to see about him being here, the positive attitude, the coaching staff.
And he was that way when he was at Carolina, bringing
man.
that infectious attitude and that energy.
Yeah. Again, it wasn't, again, it's a next man up mentality. Obviously it's going to take probably a couple recruiting cycles to get the right personnel in here. But I think that's also a thing. What's dynamic about the whole portal now? Yeah. You ain't got to go the JUCO route. You got somebody that's already in college, that's been in the college program, that's been lifting. Yeah. That's even, I always remember that being one of the things about getting a JUCO kid. They don't have the resources that a college does for a collegiate program. So you're getting somebody that's at least already been in development. Right. And, and just as with people putting their name in the portal, from the recruiting, the relationships you may be able to have to bring people in, I think it's a good resource in the sense of filling gaps where you need gaps filled. I think it's also, even right now with the whole pandemic that happened last year, plus with the portal and stuff now, I'm just even curious to know kind of what the backlog is with seniors that were coming out of high school. Yeah. How many were able to get opportunities? How many had to take a different route to a prep school, JUCO, whatever. Yeah. But also with this portal now, how many, because there used to be, I know it's all predicated upon your scholarships, how many you have, how many seniors you got leaving, whatever. How big are those classes actually? How are they adjusted? How many of them are freshmen? Because I got a nephew and stuff that's getting ready to start going through that process. He's going into his senior year, all that stuff. But that's what's crazy. I mean, his junior season, he only got to play 7 games. Yeah. That's not a ton of time to develop and be on film. And, hopefully for this next year, they're going to be able to play a full route because, and it's just with anything, man, the more reps you get to play, the better you become. You can see yourself improve and become better. I think a lot of it's just, that's where it comes with the recruiting aspect, man. I mean, believe me, who doesn't want to go somewhere to win a championship? Oh, yeah. Who doesn't want to go somewhere to be a starter? It's about getting the opportunity to play. Yeah. If you're not on the field showing yourself, you can't develop, you can't progress. Yeah.
Can't get to the next
what's
level.
your goals? Yeah. That's right, man. And they look at everybody. Yeah. Don't matter what college it is. Yeah. Scouts,
you're good enough, you'll get there.
And it's just like that with high school and college. If you're good enough, people are going to find you. Yeah.